I'm Q-Violin. I'm a singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona.
Dame tu alma, dame tu sudor, suelta tu cuerpo, respira tu dolor. A los muertos.
Yes, so I'm a singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. And from one desert from Arizona, I moved to California, did a lot of work as a professional musician and an independent artist there. Then I got the opportunity to move to Australia. My whole education in music, which is coming from the African diaspora of the Americas, from by way of Brazil and Central America and the Caribbean and the United States, it really kind of groomed me and prepared me to have the right tools and eclectic taste, so to speak, to then be able to collaborate with a group like Oyobi and create the music in the previous EP and in this new album. The creative process with Oyobi and with the guys, with the crew, has always been a very respectful, lots of mutual respect, lots of just letting things happen, letting things flow. You know, it comes from a very organic mentality. Obviously, all the members of this crew are seasoned professional musicians. So it's really come from a frame of thought of just jamming things and hashing things out and figuring out what grooves. And for me, that's also the way I work, being a professional musician myself. Is I grew up with the mentality of creating a song and playing it before you actually record it and edit it and add all the plugins and all the filters and all the editing, you know? So I really enjoy that about Oyobi and having a chance to work with Oyobi, in the sense that it's coming from a very organic musician's mentality, as opposed to the other way around, which is more technology, software-based production. That's all included. But the process is very much on that first comes first. Let's create a rhythm. Let's create a beat. You know, let's find the groove and spend the time to actually play the instruments to that sound, that find their place in these songs. And then we can go in there and sample something. And then we can go in there and add a filter, or add a delay or a plugin, and mix and cut and edit to create a greater vision. What you're hearing in the music is very much crafted specifically from each individual and each person who's contributed to it. It's not just a hodgepodge of sound banks and samples and you know, audio grabs, which so much of music has become now, you know. And also the base of it being, you know, a lot of your base, Vincent, obviously is coming from the Afro-Cuban, Afro-Caribbean rhythmic rhythms that you spent, decades studying and playing. So taking from that base, but then letting it evolve into something that becomes more than the sum of its parts. That's what I feel like Oyobi has been able to create from that root, bringing in the synthesizers, bringing in the drum machines, bringing in the delays and the filters, and bringing in an artist like me who's very much creating a future for my own identity and my own indigeneity, to then find something new out of that. And that's something that I'm always excited to share with people, is what Oyobi's doing and how they're able to take the scaffolding from the ancient, but revise it and remodel it and reduce it into something that's for today, that's something that's very contemporary, something that's very in the now. When I say about touching deeper, I'm talking about something that lives within all of us as humans, which is the soul or the spirit, right? Or the consciousness, that intangible notion of what makes us human, right? That's very much what music is, right? Music is considered one of the highest forms of art, and what makes it so high is the sense that it is intangible. Essentially, it's frequencies and waves that we're projecting at one another, and you can feel it, you can hear it, you can sense it. It may bring about or evoke certain visions or memories, but you can't hold it, you can't keep it, you can't, it's intangible. And so that intangible quality of music is also that intangible quality of what it is to be human. So when I talk about touching into something deeper, it goes beyond our material world. I think that they're one and the same. I think that art is the spirit. I think art is the literal manifestation of the human spirit in this three-dimensional form that we call reality, right? So by invoking our own, whether it be our own ancestral knowledge or our own individual perception and interpretation of reality, and transforming it into something that is an art form, whether it be a painting or a sculpture or food or dance or song or music in its totality, is that very essence of the spirit. That's what I mean about touching into the soul, because it's not something that's premeditated in the sense that, oh, we're going to create a song or we're going to write something and it's going to be great because we want everybody to jump on board. Like popular music is very formulaic. It's very much a premeditated and predetermined package of what's going to then be marketed to somebody and constructed in a way that it's guaranteed to make everybody attracted to it. No, this is something that's very much done with the intent of expressing who we are and doing what we love, and not disingenuinely pushed off as something that, oh, you need to have this. This is the coolest thing. This is the best thing to do. That's a commodification of art, a commodification of music, which is very common now and people have embraced as the norm. But true art, in my opinion, is that very essence of how do I express myself artistically and feel like it is me, authentically me, that is offering up something for your enjoyment or for your to experience in a way that's going to evoke the same feelings and emotions that I am portraying, right? I think that darkness also taps into the uncertainty and the unknown, which we're really been forced to face as a society, as a civilization, as a whole in these times right now, right? There's so much uncertainty, but the reality is it's always been like that. We've always kind of been surviving on the surface of what this idea of society and civilization is, and recognizing that we take it for granted, you know, the security of knowing that, oh, you know, I'm always going to have food on my table because there's always going to be a farmer somewhere in the planet busting their ass to ship this food all the way over to where I'm at. And I'm always going to have, you know, a job or a place to live based on the money that I make, which is a completely fabricated illusion or a tool that keeps society moving forward in the way that it does. So that darkness in the imagery, I think, is hopefully exposing the viewer and the listener to really contemplate that and recognize, like, well, what am I taking for granted in this life? How am I so secure and so reassured about what's on the other side of that door or what's down that hall over there? You know, our comfort has been placated to on so many levels in the society, to the point where we have to have, and we feel, you know, like we need to have an answer to everything, you know, that we need to have, like, oh, of course, you know, of course it's going to be okay. Of course this is going to be there. Of course it's going to, like, we've been taught that there's an answer to everything when we can't answer everything that's in this world and in this planet. We can't even answer, you know, very basic fundamental questions like, why are we here? What is life? You know, what is the universe? You know, those things have yet to be answered. You know, there's still so much of the scientific world. Science can only explain 5% of what exists in the universe. The rest is dark energy or dark matter, and they use that term to not literally describe something that's dark, but that's something that is in the unknown, right? So we live in a complete ocean of uncertainty and unknown, but we choose as a society to focus on that little dot of light that is certain, so that we can keep our egos and our wits about us in order to keep trudging along in that direction when it's not guaranteed. What defines music, aside from it just being noise, right? If I was to scream and shout and play some drums without any order or pattern or repetition to it, it would just be noise. It would just be utter chaos. But the moment I choose to string three notes together in a fashion where it fits a form, or play some notes on a drum, or maintain a type of tempo or rhythm, that's when music is born. That's when the chaos is pulled into something that's that we can process with our minds as music, you know, even though it's just a conglomeration of a bunch of different noises and sounds. But when it's put together in a certain way, all of a sudden we can move to it. It can evoke our emotions. It can evoke our thoughts. It can evoke our prayers. It can evoke so much more of our humanity just from that simple act of bringing order out of chaos. And that's the whole universe, essentially, right? It's like everything out there is just chaos. Everything is particles and, you know, energies floating around and banging into each other. And it's not until they collect and they form, and that exact word, form, that all of a sudden we have some type of order in this complete unknown chaos.